breaking news which is coming in. It's a chilling and harrowing tale of torture, of trauma, and finally, unable to bear it anymore, a story of giving up. The details of the story will make your blood boil. A 33-year-old married woman ended her life, and she has detailed the horror that she had to undergo and what pushed her to take this extreme step. You can see on your screens the victim, Vipanchika. She ended her life after killing her 1.5-year-old daughter in their apartment in Sharjah, UAE. But it's a suicide note that revealed what she had to endure. She hails from Kerala. The woman had moved to Sharjah and was living with her husband and child. The suicide note recovered from the apartment named her husband, Nidhesh, his sister, Neethu Beni, and their father, Mohanan, as directly responsible for her death. Her family has alleged that Vipanchika faced persistent dowry harassment and racial abuse from her husband and in-laws. In fact, in her suicide note, she mentions that she was sexually harassed, with her husband forcing rotten shawarma into her mouth, and she reveals how she was dragged with a belt when she was pregnant as well. In fact, when her father-in-law assaulted her, her husband is said to have told her that he married her for himself as well as his father. Can you believe it? The torture, the ordeal that this young woman was forced to endure. She, in fact, not just took her own life, she also killed her daughter and said that this is the life that she wanted. And this was the reason behind it. In fact, listen to her grieving mother.
എന്റെ കുഞ്ഞും അവന്റെ ഫ്രണ്ട്സും ഫാമിലിയായിട്ട് പോയ അന്ന് അവള് പ്രശ്നമാണ്. ഉടനെ അവനെ വിളിപ്പിക്കും. അവൻ ഫ്രണ്ട്സിന്റെ ഫാമിലിയായിട്ട് ഒരു കുഴപ്പമില്ല, എന്റെ മോളുമായിട്ട് പോരും. അതാണ് അവളെ വാശി.
Well, let me go across to Arpita, who's joining us. Singh is also joining us, a lawyer as well as an activist. Arpita, if you can just tell us the details of this case, and more importantly, this entire alleged harassment and suicide took place in Sharjah. Legally speaking, where is the case? Has her husband, her sister-in-law, father-in-law, all of whom she had mentioned in her suicide note, been arrested?
Very shocking and sad news that is coming in from Sharjah. Vipanchika, in fact, is a Malayali from Kollam. She hails from Kollam. She died by suicide, and she also killed her daughter, 1.5-year-old daughter. And this is very sad because she had posted a suicide note on Facebook, which later came out, where she has revealed all the tortures that she had to go through in her husband's family, in her place where her husband's sister, her sister-in-law and father-in-law were torturing her. First, initially after marriage, she had to go through a lot of dowry harassment, where her sister kept telling her sister-in-law and father-in-law kept saying that during her sister-in-law's marriage, they had given more dowry. Why are your parents not giving enough dowry? The car that you gave was not enough. We need a bigger car. All these things her husband's family kept saying, but later after her childbirth, they even started torturing her. They forced her to eat rotten shawarma. She was beaten with a belt. In fact, she has also alleged that her father-in-law misbehaved with her. In her suicide note, she has written that when she confronted about this to her husband made a shocking statement saying that I married you just not for myself but also for my father. So that was one of the shocking revelations that she had mentioned in her suicide note. So it clearly talks about what and all tortures she had to go through. At the end, she had written that I don't have any other option rather than ending my life, but she has also pleaded strictest punishment should be given to them for harassing her. She has clearly mentioned her husband, her sister-in-law and father-in-law's name in the suicide note. In fact, she has also mentioned that when she found out that her husband was having an extramarital affair, she confronted her husband, and that is when he served her a divorce notice. So her family members have confirmed that they were heading for a divorce. but unfortunately she couldn't stand till then. Before that, she had to take her life. Took her 1.5-year-old daughter's life as well. Now, remember, this entire dowry case happened when she got married in Kollam. So the Kollam police, Kundra police, has registered a case against her husband, sister-in-law and father-in-law. Now her family member, her mother, has also registered a case in UAE where she died. So now the investigation is underway, and hopefully strictest punishment will be taken in this regard. In fact, her mother also wants strictest action to be taken in this matter.
Well, in fact, do stay on with us, Abha. In today's day and age, when we talk about women empowerment, one would imagine this won't happen. She's a bright, young, educated lady from Kollam. She's there making her life in Sharjah. But this amount of harassment over dowry, over a bigger car, about the money that she's getting in, and of course, sexual harassment as being alleged, and inappropriate touches by her father-in-law, doesn't even, it's hard to believe that this is today's day and age, that a woman would be forced to take this extreme step and not return and come out of this marriage.
It's really shocking, but I'm not surprised. In fact, in 2022, NCRB figures say that 6,200 dowry deaths took place. 6,200 women, married women, died or committed suicide because they were being harassed for dowry. Another issue which is very important, nobody, none of the neighbors, not the Indian community or the Indian embassy in Sharjah gave her any help. So this needs to be looked into, whether did she approach them, appeal them or not. Also, this also highlights that the offense of dowry, the demand for dowry is on the increase and nothing is being done about it. I'm glad that the Kollam police has registered an FIR, because as per law, the FIR can be registered where the marriage took place or where the offense has happened, the harassment has happened. So rightfully FIR has been registered in Kollam, and also in Sharjah her parents have ensured that a case is registered. These people should not be let off. Strictest of the action should be taken, and I'm ashamed that the father-in-law was also harassing her, rather being a parent to her. He was sexually harassing her, and if a husband makes a loose comment like that, that I married you for him, so I'm sure this girl had nothing left, and maybe that is the reason she took her daughter also with her, because she knew that this family was so bad they would not let her little 1.5-year-old child come back to her parents, and that may be the reason that she committed suicide with her daughter. I think we really need to look into it. The laws need to be looked into. If a dowry case was going on, why these cases are not decided fast? I am a family lawyer too, and I see that these marriage cases take years. There is frustration, there is hopelessness. So I think the Indian courts also needs to look into it, that what is the status of NRI marriages? How are we helping these girls who are there abroad and getting no protection?
Is there any protection, Abha Singh, for NRI brides such as Vanchika? Because once they leave Indian shores, the jurisdiction of India, the laws of India will not be in place. What happens to them? Can they continue to fight this battle, let's say, for dowry, against dowry, if the husband's there? You must make that clearer for our viewers.
I was handling a matter where the girl was from India but got married and went to settle in UK, and she faced a lot of dowry harassment over there. We managed to get an FIR registered in Mumbai because the marriage had taken place here and the dowry demands by her in-laws were made in Mumbai. So the FIR was registered here, and through the embassy we ensured that the court summons were issued to them, and the parents had to come back here and appear in the case. So the laws are very clear. A case can be registered here, and whatever the magistrate summons are, they can be served to them. They cannot evade the law of the country. It may take time, but that is what it is. So what is important is that the Indian embassies that are abroad, it is necessary that these young girls who are facing the harassment or facing domestic violence in marriage, they should approach the nearest embassy and lodge their complaint, and it is the duty of these foreign service officers to see to it that the Indians who are there are protected.
Well, in fact, let me go across to Arpita. Arpita, you've spoken to the mother, the family of Vanchika. What exactly are they saying? Are they aware of the torture? Was there a reason why she decided against informing anyone in India, not taking any steps? I know you mentioned that they were moving towards a divorce. But did her family, did her mother in India know to the extent of brutality and torture that she was facing allegedly?
No, so her family, her mother in particular, has clearly mentioned that she was not aware of this brutal torture that she was going through. In fact, she had mentioned one or two incidents where her sister-in-law had fought with her over her going with her husband to her friend's place or other places. That is, in fact, in the bite also, her mother said that I was aware that her sister-in-law used to fight over these issues. Why was the sister-in-law making it a big issue when she was going out with her own husband, is what the mother has questioned. But in fact, her mother has clearly said that she wasn't aware of any such extreme torture that she had to go through. But in her suicide note, she mentioned that she did mention all of about this torture to her friends in Sharjah where she was working, and a few of her neighbors also knew about this. And since she was heading for a divorce, they were hoping that things will get better, but unfortunately she couldn't stand her divorce was process, and before that she took her life.
Abha Singh, I'd like to come to you. Now, what's interesting is Vanchika had also posted her suicide note on her Facebook account, but mysteriously after her death, it was deleted. It is now being suspected by her friends that perhaps it is her husband who had deleted that post. However, they had already downloaded that, and that is now going to be probed as well by the investigators. So there also seems to be, Abha Singh, a series of events which suggest that not only was she systematically tortured, but there was also a cover-up after her death, which was at least tried.
Definitely, if the husband has removed a suicide note from her social media post, it would be treated as destruction of evidence under the BNS, under the laws and action, and there will be extra punishment for that, because destruction of evidence is taken very seriously in the courts of trial. And also the husband, what all they have done, I'm sure there must be email communications or WhatsApp chats, they all should be preserved, and I'm sure the police would be preserving that. And even if they've been deleted, they would go to the telephones, if whoever the IP holder is, and they would try to get it down from them. The CDR calls, CDR records would be also asked by the police, and I'm sure the police will make a foolproof case. They must make a case, because let this case be an exemplary case where families know that if young girls are abroad and they are not at their mercy, the Indian law, the Indian courts are there to protect them. So I think police should make a good case in Kollam, and they should be extradited. He should be brought back to India and tried in the court.
He should be brought back, extradited and tried in Indian courts. That's the opinion of Abha Singh. Thank you so much for joining us with your perspective and your legal views, as well as Arpita. I'll keep coming back to you for more updates on the case as well and how it proceeds. But for the timing, a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll return in 2 minutes.